Here we are, guys, our next big build. This is just a short video to catch you up where we're at with it and what the plans are for it. I'm new to YouTube, as you can tell, but we get asked about this project a lot. As you can see, it's just a standard engine, but it's a standard engine that is across the range. It's a 2.2 twin turbo. It's the same engine as they put in every other van. So we've had this van remapped to just over 195 brake horsepower with probably double the torque it had originally, enabling it to turn the big wheels and tow effectively. We kept it within the parameters of a standard engine as not to risk breaking any of it. And obviously the airbox is missing currently due to the underfloor heating build, which as you see here. But I'll cover that in another video later on. Being the base model, it comes with these big orange indicators. They need to go. I'll do that by removing this panel and this indicator, replacing it with a more high-end front wing. And then when I put the electric wing mirrors on, they come with indicators in here, which will then alleviate the need for these. Being an old parcel van, is absolutely covered in dents and rust and overspray from bad repairs, where just getting the van out the door was obviously a priority over doing the job properly. All of this will need to be cut out and repaired properly, ready for it to be painted in its final colour. Also, for the exterior of this van, I plan to lift it 2.5 to 3 inches on a spacer kit, which involves taking off obviously the suspension, adding the spacers. I will do a video on that as I go. I also want to put 12-inch banded steels on, raising the width and stance of the van, allowing me to put 12-inch wide, 35-inch high tyres on the vehicle. On top of this, we're going to make metal flared wheel arches which bolt on and off so that it can be repaired easily. To get the sliding door to open, once the wheel arches are flared right out, a lot of people have to space the sliding rail. That then restricts the amount of flare you can get on your wheel arches, and then ultimately the size of the wheel that you can put on. The way I intend to get around this is I'm going to weld the door shut from this here, along here, and then along there. I will then cut this part of the door off, leaving this part behind when this door opens and slides around. Once this bit is then welded in place, the main problem will be how to get the door to pop wider than this arch. The way I intend to get around that is the sliding bar on here, which attaches to this rail, I will slightly extend, and then I'll remove the door handle from this end, flush that off, and put the door handle in this end, so that your knee-jerk reaction is to pull the door away from the wheel arch, allowing you to then slide and then match the flared wheel arch that will be here. We've already added a heavy duty tow bar for pulling Ralph, which you saw in a previous video. The wiring loom for the electronics, as you can see, has literally just been thrown in for now, just so that we could get to a couple of car shows that we had coming up. So here we are on the inside of the van. First thing you'll notice is the underfloor heating pipe work. I will make a video on how to make underfloor heating work effectively in another video. The floor itself is a 25mm batten with a 20mm PIR board placed in the middle with aluminium tape to help as a moisture barrier. So the whole rest of the van has been covered in closed cell sound deadening, just to keep all vibrations down, keep the noise down. The rest of the van's been insulated with 25mm PIR board and aluminium foil tape just to help with the moisture. It still does need a moisture barrier around the outsides and across the top just to keep the condensation down, but we are making forward momentum slowly. The boards have been placed on the sides just to help protect what we've already done while we cart around our 2 Great Danes and go camping and everything else during the course of this project. In this build, we will need to add windows. I will do a video on how to add windows when we get to that point. Currently, we're not there yet, but obviously there'll be a window here, both of which will open, 2 windows at the back, skylights throughout. As you can see, I have captain seats. They are actually both captain seats. I've just moved the van, so that one's facing forwards. The bed that we intend to put in here will be an electric bed, which folds up into the roof at the front above where your dining area is, because as far as I'm concerned, that's wasted space. I don't really want a bunch of beds in here when I'm not actually using it to sleep in. I'd rather have like a big front room I can drive around in. The bed itself will come down on a remote control, and fold forwards as it unfolds, enabling the bed to stop here but still come all the way to the front, so you'd be able to sleep over a 6-foot man in the bed without actually taking up too much room. The bed thickness itself will probably be around 3 inches. I'm 6'2". I might have to stoop a bit, but not enough to worry about. At the back here will be a full-size shower in terms of height. It's quite a narrow shower that we're putting in just to try and make the most of the space with the toilet. And then the wall will finish around about here, where in behind there I'll put a boiler, so I have hot and cold running water. All my electronics will all go in the back here. All the tanks for the water and gas and everything else will all be underslung tanks. Again, more videos to come on how to add those and make most of the space that you have. On this side, I'm going to make my kitchen mount to the rear door on electronics, so I can lift it up and down on an actuator, which means I can either have the kitchen in the van, or I can open the door all the way around outside and lower the kitchen down outside, enable me to cook outside, keep the smells down if need be. But also it's just nice to cook outside if you've got the opportunity and the weather's nice, but then you still have the option to use your full cooker inside the van if it's raining. The next thing we intend to do is put a full 6-foot sofa in this area between where your traveling seats are, which is effectively your dining room, and the wall of the bathroom, which will be around about here. It will be bunk beds, so basically the back of the sofa will hinge up and then have to slide in to make 2 sets of bunk beds, and then to turn it back into a sofa, you'll pull it out and then slide it down, and then effectively you've got your sofa again. And then finally, to bring you up to speed where we're at, the last part will be the kitchen units. The kitchen units are going to wrap around from here, going thin for where your sofa is, potentially a TV that comes up and down out of the back of the unit. Obviously wrap around with enough space for the kitchen, as I previously discussed, to slide in and out of, and so you end up with a big L-shaped kitchen with plenty of units. I'm not going to place any cabinets up high due to the fact I don't like the way it feels enclosed when you do that. The last thing to say is I hope you like the video, guys. I hope you're looking forward to watching the build. Please like and subscribe to keep you updated with anything that we do and any new videos we post. All the best.